What's up, guys? Josh Lau here with the Card Guys, and today we're going to be looking at the Dorinthea deck that got ninth place at the World Championship, piloted by Yuto Suzuki, a Japanese player who took it to a 6-2 CC finish. And we're going to take a look at the deck, and we're going to take a look at the game that he had on stream. I haven't watched the actual game. I do know the results, though. I do know he went 6-2 in CC, lost one of the matches to Michael Hamilton on Bravo, and lost to Alex Lowe on Katsu. We're going to be watching the Dorinthea versus Katsu game. But first, let's take a look at his deck list, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys. This is the deck list for Yuto Suzuki and his ninth place Dorinthea deck list. So first of all, just quickly, briefly looking at this deck, the first thing that jumps out to me is there's no Tunic. Now that is a stylistic choice that you can make in Dorinthea. There's actually this is very, very old school style, though, to not run with a Tunic. Basically, going all in on the courage means that you have to be extremely aggressive because you can't take pivot turns with Shunt. And it also means that you don't want the game to go long because you aren't. If the game is going to go long, you might as well have had Tunic. The other thing that's jumping out to me is that there's a lot of one-ofs, especially the sideboard. And I did watch his deck profile on the Tales of Wraith YouTube channel, and the main reason he's running one-ofs is because he never really wants to draw two-ofs. Like, if you imagine a world where you draw two Emboldened Blades, you're not really happy. You draw two Yellow Warriors Value, you're not really happy, right? You draw two Steelblade Shunts, unless you have Tunic up, and then you can set the other one into Arsenal, you're not really happy, right? So that's kind of the reason why he's running a lot of one-ofs. Interesting concept. I guess the other main thing that he's doing is he's running Eye of Ophidia. He likes to run Eye just to just smooth out the deck, especially when you're being so aggressive. You need your draws to line up very well. Also, he's running Blade Flash instead of Precision Press. I think this is just a little bit of a nod towards Warmongers. Other than that, fairly standard deck list. In terms of pumps, he's running 3 Iron Song Response, Out for Blood, 2 Overpowers, 3 Punctures, Route, 2 Strokes, alongside, the usual culprits in the yellow and blue slot. Pretty standard here. It is running the full suite, so you have a lot of targets for Singing Steelblade. Other than that, the standard warrior actions like Sharpened Steel, Spoils, Supremacy, Valor, Glistening, and Determination. Pretty standard there. Ratios, the deck does run 20 blues and does have several extras in the sideboard. You do have to keep in mind that this deck list was built in the era of Icelander, so it is possible that you probably could get away with a little bit less blues, but this is pretty much as low as you want to go, though. It's look at the sideboard here. We got a couple poppers, a couple defensive cards, an extra overpower for pushing, some extra go agains, some extra blues. Pretty standard. Dynamo, he said he was playing that against Dromai. I mean, if you have this many extra go agains, I think that's okay. Not the most revolutionary of deck lists, but it is a take that is very, very, very aggressive. So not having Tunic, not having access to Shunt or Sink Below means some of the matchups are going to be much, much tougher. But it does look like that Yuto Suzuki did go for the mindset that the best defense is a good offense, and this deck list definitely could run away with the game against a opponent that makes any mistakes or is unprepared. All right, let's take a look at the game. All right, let's jump into this match here between Alex Lowe of Hong Kong on Katsu and Yuto Suzuki from Japan on Dorinthea Iron Song. So again, I have not watched this match, but I do know the results. So we're going to be looking for just, the lines that he's taking and, how Alex decides to play against him, and just, see if we can learn anything or discover anything about Dorinthea today. All right, so I'm not sure who's going first, who's going second, but in this matchup, you definitely want to be going second. And if you're going first, you do not want to give your opponent the chance to filter. So Yuto just says Arsenal pass. Back to Alex here. Turn 0. So just looking at the equipment here, again, if I'm Katsu looking at Dorinthea, seeing the courage, this is going to be very, very aggressive. The mask momentum is going to impact things a bit less. On the Dorinthea side here, Breeze Rider Boots, Breaking Scales, that's going to provide a little bit of armor, but not the greatest amount of armor. You're definitely going to look to get some value out of Puncture here as well. And so this is not open deck list yet, right? This is not the top 8. So neither player has any idea like what style the opponent is on. So as Dorinthea, I would keep keeping a very, very, very close eye on the amount of defense reactions that Katsu has, as well as, Katsu should be watching for Dorinthea's D-reacts as well. So Surgic Strike here, getting blocked by 2 cards here. That's fine if you don't have the right hand. And then Kodachi takes Yuto down to 39. So in this matchup, it is extremely important as the Dorinthea to not fall behind in tempo, because if you get behind in tempo, even your most threatening turns can just be no blocked, and then they can, come back with a 5-card hand and get every single card out of your hand. So generally how I like to play, so we have Warmongers coming out from Alex. Obviously, Dorinthea is going to be picking War, and Katsu is going to be picking War. Arsenal pass there. So Courage of Bladehold and Refraction Bolters are kind of the insurance late game against that. So if you have several counters on the weapon, or if your opponent decides to take a bunch of damage and try to, strip every card from your hand, having access to Courage and Bolters and maybe a Iron Song response in Arsenal allows you to crack back even though you lost your whole hand. Okay, so Naked Dawnblade, no blocks, Sick Blow from hand, and Yuto is going to play a red Puncture here and just get in 2 damage here. Of note, Alex did sink there, so that's a little bit of information there. Again, on the Warmonger's turn, not much you can do here unless you have a Blade Flash. Second sink below here from hand. And just preserving life here. So, as the Dorinthea player, if I see the sink blows, I definitely know that the Katsu's on a more defensive build. Because if they're playing sinks, they are playing Flip Flags. So, E-Strike for 7 here. A good 2-card hand here. I think Alex was trying to fish for a little bit, probably for a blue, to be honest. Most Katsus are not running a ton of blues. All right, Yuto decides to take 7 here and go down to 32. So 5-card Dory hand here with the healthy life total. Now, from Yuto's perspective, I think he knows that there's a D-reacted Arsenal. You don't play 2 sync blows from hand on a turn where uh, you don't really have to. So here we go. Determination into Red Valor into Dawnblade. And Alex keeps looking at his arsenal. This is a tell that this is a D-React. Uh, Once you play Dorinthea enough, you basically pick up all these little small things here. Dawnblade for 7 here with Dominate on it, go again. And now you might be thinking like, okay, you definitely have to stuff this. You don't want this to go through. Actually, what is the threat this turn? The threat is more damage and a counter. If Alex actually has a good hand, he might just try to say, you know what, my hand doesn't block very well. Your attack has Dominate, whatever. I have a D-reacted arsenal, but it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna, take this, give you the counter, try to crack back, and we'll go from there. Because the Warrior's Valor is good, Spoils of War is good, but they're not on the same level as Supremacy or Glistening Steelblade. And so I think that's what's running through Alex's mind here. A lot of the Katsu decks, although they can block somewhat decently, obviously the Iron Song Determination messes this all up. And if you let the first attack hit, you might as well let the second attack hit. There's also another option here. If that's not a D-reacted arsenal, which there's a chance it's not, he could just shove the armor here. Or if he really wants to deny reprise, he could shove the armor plus the D-react from arsenal. That's a very common tactic that was used with Ira back in the day. Ira versus Dorinthea. I saw that many, many times. Flick Flack plus the armor shove here. But you have to have a soul read on your opponent that they have reprise dependent attack reactions, and I don't know if you could put him on that. Looks like we're gonna pitch a Ancestral Empowerment, play Art of War. So we're gonna give the attack actions +1, and here we go, 3 armor here plus. Oh, gonna block from Arsenal. Okay, interesting. Okay, so that is blocking for 4 there. Huh. Okay, so that is a block for 7 with no reprise. Very, very interesting. And this is an unexpected play, and let's see how Yuto handles this. Obviously, if you have the attack react to get over this, you do it. But I think okay. I guess he doesn't have it. Okay, very interesting. And that was not a D-reacted arsenal. Okay, so my read there was wrong. I guess he was looking at it so much because of the Art of War. That's interesting, though. Okay, so back to Alex, and he denied a big turn. So now, so like I said before, there's a whole issue about tempo, right? Once you're down on life, things can get really, really rough in this matchup. And is Yuto gonna go for another 5-card hand here? So he was card inefficient last turn. He basically ended with 2 cards, got to Arsenal 1. So yeah, so from Alex's perspective, he probably has a very reprise dependent card, either an Arsenal or in hand, or he has like a second Valor that he didn't want to play last turn, either in hand or in Arsenal. Very, very interesting situation here. With the Crown of Providence as well, you have the option of filtering your hand into a slightly better hand here. And just going back to last turn, so E-Strike for 7, he didn't use Crown there. I mean, that just makes Alex's block even more ballsy, because Yuto was like, yeah, I have the perfect hand. I don't even need to use Crown on this. So he's going to use Crown here. I guess switching out the reprise dependent card for a non-reprise dependent card And he also used the courage as well. So that indicates generally that you want to use a courage on this turn here. Now, there is a non-zero chance that the Katsu has a directed arsenal here. Last turn, he wanted to deny the reprise. Let's see if he... like. Now he basically can't. As long as... okay, so this is not getting popped up very much, actually. So he could deny the reprise here again here. Obviously, he doesn't have any armor left other than the mask. And the mask by itself is not going to cover this. So very likely we have a twinning blade in Yuto's hand here. There it is, yep. So we have Mugenshi plus Lord of Wind blocking here. Gonna resolve the damage. No damage there. And second source of go again here into Dawnblade. So 5 go again, and he's gonna lay down 5 here. Does he have the pump to get over this? He does, but so this is 5 on, this is 6 attacking 5 here. Still gets blown out by a D-React. Alex, body language doesn't look worried here. Yuto, though, grabs the twinning blade. Okay. Oh, maybe not. I think you have to grab the twinning blade here because you broke the courage here. So, yep, looks like he's confirming the twinning blade there. Shuffles his deck. So we still haven't had a Dorinthea activation. We still have boots up as well. And there's the D-React there. Now he still can swing again here. 3 on hit counter. Now, does he blow boots here to get 2 more counters? Looks like the answer is yes. Coming in for 4 on hit 2 counters. And Alex takes it, grants Dorinthea some extra counters here. Spoils of War trigger were missed, but looks like he's kind of retroactively doing it now. Not that that's very relevant generally. Okay, so at the end of this, we have even life totals. Dorinthea without much equipment at all, and 3 counters on Dawnblade. So this is a very high risk strategy here, right? If you can convert with like a overpower or a Iron Song determination, that'll be good. Oftentimes the Katsu deck cannot block very well. Looks like we got double sharpened steel here, and the hesitation on what to pitch here. Could there be a pitch problem? And there is a pitch problem here. Okay, for 9 or for 12 here. So Alex very likely to give up his Mask of Momentum here. He probably can't block 12 from hand unless he drew perfectly. His hand probably blocks for 10 or 11 if I had to guess. And Yuto hesitating there for a split second on what to pitch. Like, if that's an Iron Song response in hand, it's crystal clear what to pitch, right? And the fact that he had to think about it indicates that he doesn't have the Iron Song response here. Looks like another Art of War here. Okay. And this is another way to get to 12 block, right? So you could throw your 3 blocks become 4 blocks, your 2 blocks become 3 blocks. So that's 4, that's 4. And that's 4. Wow. Okay. And the head tilt there from Yuto. So Alex gets away with taking all the counters away without losing the Mask of Momentum. Okay, this is very, 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 very bad for Dorinthea here. 5 card hand with tempo here, but the equipment is really the tale of the story here. So naked Dawnblade here, pitching Blade Flash, kind of indicating that you probably have another source of go again, or you have a bunch of pumps here. Either one. Yep, looks like a bunch of pumps is the name of the game. Alex saying, sure, I'll take 9. You can be card inefficient here. No reprise, so not even a filter here. So Alex going to take 9, and then Yuto's going to get to arsenal one of his 2 cards. Very interesting that we've seen 2 defensive Art of Wars, but they've been pretty good. Okay, so from the Dorinthea's perspective here, this is going to be kind of rough because without boots, it's hard to hit 3 times. Without courage, it's hard to get the resources that you need. So you're basically going to have to, line up a really, really, really clean turn here. All right, be like water from the Katsu. This is something that you generally have to block. And this also, the fact that Alex kept this hand kind of smells like ancestral. So if Yuto blocks here, I suspect this Be Like Water's gonna hit. Either way, you don't let Be Like Water hit because that really opens the floodgates. This is one of those matchups where you are not going to be able to play 5-card hands as Dory in general. So you have to, be happy with 3-card hands, 2-card hands. And we have Flusterfist here for 4. 2 cards still in hand. Could be a Breeze Rider Boots activation here. A little bit weird, though. Looks like he's taking 4 here. Do we have a Breeze Rider Boot activation, or are we arsenaling here? Okay, looks like we're just arsenaling. Okay, a little bit of breathing room here for our Dory player. Gonna get to play a 4-card hand here. No counters on the weapon. And you did see that Alex is playing quite a few D-reacts, although he has used quite a few of them. Glicity Steelblade here, not super threatening here if Alex has a D-react. If he doesn't have a D-react, you basically have to block for 6 here. Let's see what he does. And if he just blocks for 3, that means he has a D-react, obviously. 3-on-3 here. Ironsong response from the Arsenal here. And is it a D-react from Arsenal? It's an Oasis from Arsenal. Okay. Gonna gain a life there, go to 25. And as Dory, I'd be sweating here as well because not only does this Katsu have Sync and Flick Flack, also has Oasis. So it's going to be pretty hard to get anything done here. And I think we're just going to have some Kodachi chip into an arsenal from the Katsu player. Down to 27. And okay, never mind. Just good old Ira style Kodachi into CNC here. Gotta slow the pace of the game down. Not what you want to see as a Dorinthea in general, if you're running Courage especially. Gonna throw 2 cards in front of this. And gonna play with a 3-card hand here. Nourishing Emptiness, pitching Eye. Pretty good. Gonna be able to craft his hand a little bit, and this is gonna hit. Unless Reinforce the Line or Oasis is in Alex's hand. We haven't seen a Reinforce, but, you know, with Bravo and Azalea running around, it's not... I wouldn't put it past Alex to be running Reinforce the Line. 6 Dominate here. A single D-React plus Mask also shuts it down. And looks like you're going to keep that on top. Take 2. And give our Japanese player a 5-card hand that he has sculpted slightly with Eye of Ophidia. Pretty good. So 3-card hand here from Alex. So another thing here is that likely Alex has a D-React because you wouldn't waste the D-React on the previous turn, knowing that your opponent is going to have a 5-card hand if you didn't have a second D-React. So I anticipate that Alex is going to Arsenal D-React here. That's just logically what makes the most sense to me. And so Yuto decides to block the second chain with the Brave Forge Bracers just to interrupt the MOM there. And we have a 6-card Dorinthea here. Pretty scary normally, but certain things have to come true here. Like, have to have a source of go again. Have to have a pump. Have to have a blue. When you have bolters, you also have so okay. So there's a pump at reaction speed here. Most likely, I don't think Alex is going to block this. Okay, Blade Flash is fine. Yep. Flick Flack from Arsenal, no reprise here. Does he have a non-reprise dependent card to get over this? Double Singing Steel Blade will do it, but you're definitely not happy with that. Alex going to take 1. He's going to get to Bracers and attack again here. And then Arsenal that last card, I think. Yep. And then this is going to be an easy cover up here with a combo card. Because if he had a... well, there's a chance it's an Iron Song response at hand, but it doesn't seem too likely. Going to block 5 on 4 here. He does have Iron Song response. Okay. So this is going to hit. Alex going to take 2 here, and Dorinthea going to get a very, very hard-earned Dawnblade counter. First one in a long time here. And we're going to have minimal pressure here from Katsu back. Just 3 cards is not minimal pressure, but Dorinthea will be able to keep at least 2 cards if she wants to. And that's might be the play pattern we see here, depending on what Alex does here. Kadachi. Gonna block again with the Brave Forge Bracers here. We've seen very, very aggressive equipment usage here from our Dorinthea player. Be Like Water here. 1 card in hand. So worst case scenario here, he pays 1, turns this into Surging Strike, and then goes Whelming. That's pretty much worst case scenario here. So I think you have to block it. Yep. Red Valor being deployed here. Okay. So that's interesting. There's not very many cards that are better than Red Valor against Katsu. So he might just be in the mode of preserving the counter here, try to reestablish an arsenal here. But this is one of those situations that gets kind of blown out by a D-React. And no reprise again here. Puncture, gonna go up to 7 here. And does he have another D-React? He does, yep. Okay. Not sure I agree or disagree with blocking with the... I think leading with... I think playing the Valor is a little bit better than trying to preserve the counter. Winds of Eternity here for 2. I'm wondering why he's not just playing the Kadachi, but I guess that's fine. I guess there is a chance that he like breaks Breeze Rider into Snatch or something, but I don't think so. All right, so from our Dorinthea player perspective here, the game is actually going better than I thought it would, especially considering how early the equipment was used. And yeah, so it looks like Dory's going to play with a 5-card hand again. This Dorinthea player has been getting a lot of 5-card hands, mainly because the Katsu player has decided to take the route of playing with all their defensive cards. So pitching a Blade Flash again here, indicating Glint, Run Through, or Blade Flash. I don't think it's Blade Flash because I think he's played 1 and he's pitched 2. So basically saying this is a Run Through or Glint or a ton of damage. And Alex needs to figure out which one of these it is. Checking graveyards here. Taking stock of what power cards he still has left. Now, as Yuto, if I see my opponent checking graveyards here, I'm getting kind of nervous because this could indicate that he has a big turn planned here. And if Katsu goes for a big turn here, it might be hard to wrestle tempo back without a Domblade counter. All right, going fishing with Glint here. The judge coming over, not exactly sure why. Maybe a life discrepancy on the paper. Anyways, Glint here, possibly trying to draw fuel for an overpower. We do know Yuto does run several overpowers in his deck, and is that the end of his turn? Emboldened Blade. Command and Conquer in the arsenal. Okay. Again, a very inefficient turn because this is the Dorinthea problem. You have to draw a pup, you have to draw a blue, you have to draw a threat. And we saw him go 2-card inefficient there. And Kadachi CNC here, gonna slow the pace of the game down even more here. And now the Dorinthea has no armor left and no equipment to like supplement a large turn. So, I mean, as soon as the Katsu finds a suitable hand, I think we're going to see the health totals kind of fly away from each other. Going to block 6 here. One of the benefits of playing Command Conquer as well is that you get to see what your opponent blocked with. That tells you a lot of information. And we have seen a lot of naked Domblades. And a run through here. Is this going to be met by a D-React? It is. Ugh. So, Sync, Fate, Flick Flack, and Oasis means probably 11 or 12 copies of defensive cards. That's kind of the point where this is one of the reasons why I advocate that you should play slowly as Dorinthea, because you need to feel out your opponent. And at about 9 to 12 in that range is when your opponent starts always having the D-React. And that's when you basically have to play for second cycle in general. Whelming Gustwave here probably should be blocked for 4 here. Because, yep, this into Breeze Rider Boots here. Yuto immediately writing down the life total change, and Alex was like, give me a second here. So he probably has Ancestral in hand. Or he's thinking about what to discard to Katsu. Okay, it is the Ancestral. Okay. Draw. Gonna go to damage here. Gonna take 2 here. Drop to 16. And Breeze Rider Boots activation and then Katsu activation, I presume. Yep. So we're probably going to see Bonds of Ancestry here, either tutored for. Okay, so Be Like Water discarded. And checking the graveyard here means almost certainly Bonds. Or this could be a, because this could be a Fluster Fist check as well. Or Dishonor check. Yep. Katsu here. And this is the first Katsu we've seen in a long time. And with one of the strongest cards in the game, Steelblade Supremacy on the combat chain defending. Uh-oh. Okay, Bonds here. So we could go Bonds into Whelming into Bonds if he wants. But either way, this turn's going to be a ton of damage, and Yuto's going to have to block. And well, he doesn't have to block, but given that he blocked with Steelblade Supremacy, he probably does want to block here. Now the issue is that without armor, this is going to be a little bit awkward here to stop the MOM here. So Bonds here. What is he going to grab? Dishonor. Okay. So going to banish Dishonor, grab Dishonor. So Dishonor will not be active because there is not a Surging Strike. Also, there's no Descendant. I don't think Whelming turns on Dishonor. And, okay, so 4 Gogen here. Going to be the second link in the chain as well. So to stop the Mask of Momentum trigger, you're going to have to give up 2 cards here somewhere. Because Dishonor is also going to come in for 4. So, you know, this is one of the issues with... So he used the Braveforge Bracers very aggressively to stop MOM earlier, and now he doesn't have any more armor to give. Yep. I really do think we're going to see the life totals really move apart here. As long as Katsu doesn't brick on the next turn cycle. So Yuto has to decide whether he's blocking 4 here or, sorry, blocking 6 here or 6 on the next attack. And the issue is that I think Alex is going to get an MOM trigger either way. So, like, let's say you block the Dishonor for 6. So you let the bonds hit, you block the Dishonor for 6. I think he can still go Kodachi into an attack. And yeah, that's. I think. Yeah, so this has to be blocked here for 6. Looks like Yuto is blocking for 6 here. I think they're asking a judge something. Okay. Is there anything else to follow up this turn? So Alex, I think, is looking whether it says combat chain or this turn. So he's going to close the combat chain, put those into the graveyard, and go back to whelming. And then bonds grab this. Oh, jeez. Oh. Oh, boy. Pretty good here. So, yeah, he had to close the combat chain to get the Dishonor in the graveyard. So he could tutor out the last Dishonor here. And, yep, as soon as Katsu found the right hand or an opening, a flood of force came through. And yeah, the Dorinthea's health just evaporated here. And this is pretty much game here. This life deficit with no tempo and MOM still active. This is real ugly. And we know that Yuto does not have like defensive cards like sink below to get him out of breakpoints. So this is this is one of the risks of playing very aggressively, is that when your opponent plays very defensively, like Bravo and Katsu can, without defensive tools to get you back in the game, you basically lose the game before the 6-7 turns before the game actually ends. So a bunch of blocking here, and this is gonna hit. So Descendant into, oh, we already had the natural combo here, and with Iron Song pried in the hand, Alex doesn't even need to go grab the Dishonor there. And that game ended real fast from, okay, the life totals were like 21 to 20, like 3 turns ago, and the game just ended real quick. Okay. Quick thoughts here. Alex played very well. Yuto also, I think, didn't make any mistakes, but I mean, you make your bed, you have to lay in it, right? If you choose to play very aggressively as Dorinthea, and then you're taking the risk that, you draw a hand that isn't good, or you draw a hand that can only be played in one way, very face up, and your opponent has enough block to shut you down and take all your Dawnblade counters away. It is what it is, right? Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed this type of content. It's a little bit different than what I normally do. But I did get a lot of requests to take a look at the deck list there. I also got a lot of requests to take a look at Yuki's Bolton list. So I think that's what I'm going to be doing next. So this has been Josh Lau with the Card Guys. I'll see you guys later. Take care.